just write down what you want to see. I think that's my biggest advice.
But I'm more focused on uniting people.
She said to me, I never would have dreamed you are a writer.
If the normal works for you, great. If it doesn't, don't beat yourself up over it.
I think anybody can get the words on the page, but a real writer will know how to fix them.
I always kind of feel poverty and hunger nipping at my heels.
Realising that I wasn't mad.
The one mistake people make when they're submitting things is submitting them too early.
And then my brain just went, you're going to write a book.
You put your heart and soul into a book.
Hello and welcome to a special episode of Story of a Storyteller. This is our little in-betweeny bit between season 1 and season 2. And if you haven't guessed, based on the snowflakes above me and my Spider-Man Christmas jumper, this is our little Christmas episode. So before I bring on my 3 wonderful guests / test subjects / players, one of the things I love about storytelling, and one of the reasons I do this podcast, is because there's so many different ways to tell a story. Mostly I have authors and author friends, but there are so many other ways. And what we're going to do today is one of the ways to tell a story. We are going to be playing the role-playing, tabletop role-playing game, Dungeons and Dragons, which essentially the 4 of us are going to be telling a story together. So without further ado, I'm going to bring out my first guest, which is Ross. So there we go. Hello, Ross. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. Yeah. A bit nervous. But yeah, good.
Good. If you're nervous, that means you care. Ross is going to be Ross is going to be on season 2 as well. So it's I thought this was a nice way to bridge the seasons, to have I have 2 people from season 1 and yourself from season 2 as well. So it's and I'm looking forward to recording your interview as well, to get in to figure out what goes on in your head. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about your books, Ross, and where people can find you and stuff?
Okay. My books are Deadheads and Get Ted Dead are the current released books. They are both set in the afterlife in Gloomwood, and they mainly follow a detective who's trying to solve crimes in the afterlife. So the Grim Reaper features quite heavily in characters like that, and it's all very silly. And supposed to be quite light given the content. You can get them on Amazon, and I believe they're both currently on Kindle Unlimited as well. Or find me on Twitter and bug me and see if I give you a copy. I won't give you a copy.
But you know what? Asking, the worst thing that's going to happen is Ross will say no. Well,
you might as well ask.
We hope that's the worst. Then I'll bring on guest number 2. Guest number 2 is Ross, not Ross. What am I saying? Halo Scott. Sorry. I'm reading like 5 different things at once. Hello, Halo. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Halo, you were on episode 4 of season 1. And it was so great to have you on. So thanks very much for coming back to this, what will be a very manic and very unstructured and bizarre episode.
Not because of me.
Oh no, because of you. Let's be really clear.
Thank you for having me.
And also, since you were last on the podcast, you released the sequel to Edge of the Breach. So could you tell us a bit about that, and how has it been going so far?
Sure. Yeah. Book 2 is Echoes of Blood, and people have been awesome. It's been fun, and yeah, I wish I had something more profound to say. But I'm just in like Christmas shopping wrapping phase.
Aren't we all?
Pure wittiness.
And you've announced as well that your book 3 and 4, which I'm assuming are the final books of the Breach saga, they're coming out in next year. Is that right?
Yeah, January 23rd, which I realized when I put the date that it was the American date. So I think I confused people accidentally. Sorry about that.
That
It's
was
the
mostly
23rd, the first of the 23rd month.
yeah, I was like 23-1. What? But yeah, no, very, very. No, it was 123. That's what you crazy Americans say. I was scared that 2020 was going to continue on. That in December 31st it was going to go on into the 13th month, and I thought we were trapped forever. Hopefully not. And then next, I'm bringing on the final guest who. He doesn't really know this, but kind of inspired the whole idea of doing this episode, and that is Stephen Black.
Hello everybody.
Hey Stephen, how are you getting on?
I'm well. I'm honoured that I am the inspiration behind this podcast, which is, if it is a disaster, which it could well be, given us three, I bear no responsibility whatsoever for.
I think we can all agree that that's probably a reason it's going to be a disaster, but that's fine. No, so I don't know if I said this to you before, Stephen, but I read Stephen's first book, Skelly Square, and from the Kirkwood Scot Chronicles, and Kirkwood Scot has OCD, and some of the things that affect his OCD is it a D20 and a D4, Stephen?
Yeah, D20 and D4. Kirkwood basically, his life is run by this figure in his head called Augustus Skelly, who is a sort of manifestation of a toy soldier he played with as a child. So each day Kirkwood has to roll the dice and then perform the subsequent routine. But as the story evolves, we begin to wonder, is Kirkwood actually is it his mental illness, or is Skelly more than meets the eye? Could he actually be a real figure? And Kirkwood then meets a homeless young woman in Belfast called Meredith Stark, and they begin to investigate Skelly's origins and what all this is about.
Yeah, it's a really, really good book, and I highly recommend it. I also highly recommend Halo's book, and Ross, I'd love to recommend yours, but I haven't read it yet, so I'm not going to be disingenuous and say I say
awesome. They're both
but
awesome.
Halo has.
They're really, 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 really good. Really awesome.
So
we all love each other's books.
I know, yeah.
It's like book sets.
Yeah,
Connor, your book's very good too.
Oh, thank you very much. That's I strongly disagree, but thank you. So you heard Stephen say D20 and D4, so that'll give you a hint of what kind of stuff we're going to be doing. So in Dungeons and Dragons, you use a lot of different dice. And when I say dice, you're all probably thinking of this little guy, a D6, a six-sided cube, which is a die, but that's not all. So a D4 is this bad boy, a little tiny triangle-based pyramid. And then that's one of the things that Kirkwood uses, and the other one he uses is this guy, the D20, which is the main die we use in Dungeons and Dragons. It's a lot of fun. It's really messy and crazy. So yeah, we're going to get started. So I'm going to read a little introduction to the story. Then I'm going to ask you all to introduce your character just a little bit and say the character's name and what they look like, but not too much about them, just a sentence or two, and then we'll get started. So we have three travelers coming into the town known as Scribestown. They are Samuel, a paladin, Morgarth, the destroyer, a warlock, and Sir Nicolas Cage, a sorcerer. The three of them are going to Scribestown to search for a man known as Lysander of Rosenbeck. Lysander, a paladin, had been in Scribestown for a number of weeks at this point. After he got rid of a local cult, the townsfolk had started coming to him for a little bit of help and guidance throughout the weeks, asking for intervention from him, and started calling him their lord. But he didn't have land, so they started nicknaming him the Landless Lord. Kelline Alderleaf, a farmer to the southeast of the town, came to Lysander asking for help in finding her missing son, Carp. He disappeared from his bed 2 nights ago, and Lysander was on the trail. Lysander, fearing the worst, sent word to his fellow paladin, Samuel. Meanwhile, the tiefling Morgarth and his debtor, Sir Nick Cage, were coming to Scribestown to find Lysander, as the paladin owed Morgarth some money. When the trio arrived in the town searching for Lysander, they were met with odd glances and forlorn looks. When they all asked for Sir Lysander, Sildar, the local mayor and the keeper of the inn and the town, brought them upstairs to Lysander's bedroom. And before I tell you what your characters all see there, could you give us a little bit, a sentence or two of your characters? So maybe we'll start with Morgarth the Destroyer.
Okay, so Morgarth is a tiefling, which is somebody who has what demonic, I don't know, DNA, I suppose. Morgarth is incredibly handsome, ridiculously so, but unfortunately he's red, and he gets noticed by everybody because tieflings are quite unusual, but so handsome that people don't really care that much. He's not very nice in general, and he's very money oriented, but he has his reasons. He has lots of reasons.
Okay, very good. And then tailing Morgarth is Sir Nicolas Cage. Halo, can you describe Nicolas Cage to us, please?
Sure.
Well, I should say, can you describe your version of Nicolas Cage in this game, not the renowned actor and source of many gifts?
Oh my god. Sir Nicolas Cage is a dark elf, a drow, I think is how you pronounce it, and a wild magic sorcerer, who owes Morgarth a lot of, what was it? I think 3.4 million gold because Morgarth let him out of hell, and yeah, so now I need to repay that debt.
Excellent stuff. And then finally, leading the charge up the stairs of the inn, we have Samuel, the paladin. Stephen, can you tell us a bit about your character?
Yes, Samuel is strong of arm and weak of head, shall we say. He's 6'5", tall, looks like he goes to the gym a lot, but he wouldn't be the sharpest tool in the box. So he tends to make rather rash, foolhardy decisions, but you cannot fault his loyalty and courage.
Excellent stuff. Okay, so the three of you are brought up the stairs by Sildar, the man who owns the local inn and tavern, and brings you up to a bedroom door. Before he opens it, he says, I just want to let you all know it's not a very pretty sight in there, so just brace yourselves. And he takes out a key, unlocks the door, and opens it. You all stare at the corpse of Lysander, the man you are all searching for, horrified. Although totally naked, he seems strangely strong and defiant. 3 large icicles are pinning his corpse to the wooden wall. 1 through his right shoulder, 1 through his stomach, and the 3rd piercing the left side of his chest. His left hand is still gripping one of the icicles pinning him to the wall. Outside, an owl swoops past the window, screeching, reminding you of the late hour that you have arrived. So, Sildar shows you the body and says, look, I don't know what happened. We just came up and there he was, and I don't know, can any of you help? Maybe you could find out what happened to him and who did this to him and bring them to justice. The town really loved Lysander and we want him avenged.
When did they discover the body? Morgarth asked.
About 45 minutes ago, I think. Less than an hour, definitely. He was here earlier with Kelline. She came up to see him and then she left the room, and I brought hot water up to him for his bath, and then I heard a bit of a ruckus and I went up. The door was locked. I had to go back down the stairs to get my key. Came back up, unlocked it, and there he was.
Who's Kelline?
Kelline is the is one of the farmers in the town. She's a wee halfling woman. She was coming to him because she was upset about her son has gone missing, and she wanted Lysander to help.
Can we interview her? Is she around?
Oh, I'm certain you can. I can give you directions to her house, but I think maybe check out the room first. I'll go down.
Can we search the room? Can you describe the room to us, Dungeon Master?
I most certainly can. So the room is a bit of a mess. When you look, you're standing in the doorway. So straight ahead of you is pinned to the wall is the body of Lysander. To the left, there is the lone bed in the room. It's a simple wooden frame with a straw mattress, but then plenty of quite nice bedding over the straw mattress. But it has been broken in half, almost like somebody was thrown onto it or something heavy was bashed against it. To the right, there is the sole window in the room, which is wide open. And just kind of in the corner of the room, near Lysander, between the window, we'd say, and Lysander, there is a large steel tub of water. There's water as well splashed all over the floor, all around the bath and leading up to the feet of Lysander.
Can I taste the water to see if it's actually actually water and if it has some kind of chemical or poison in it?
That didn't take long, Halo, did it? To do something crazy. You can, of course. Could you go up and roll a perception check? So while Halo rolls a d20 and adds a perception score, I'll explain. There is a list of skills. Everyone has a sheet with their character, and there's a list of skills. And my job is when someone asks, can I do something? I have to determine which skill it is they're trying to use, and then they roll to see how successful they are. 1 is the lowest, 20 is the highest, and it looks like Halo may have gotten a low score with that reaction. Halo, what'd you get?
2.
We're off to a great start, guys. So the other 2 watches. Nick Cage goes across the room and puts his hand in the tub. The first thing you notice is it's ice cold. Like it's a lot colder than you expect. And considering it was going to be a bath, you kind of know that it should be at least room temperature, but it's freezing. It's more like recently melted ice than it is a previously hot tub. And you just kind of cough and gag at the water. You can tell there was somebody very dirty and sweaty in the water a while ago, but there doesn't seem to be any poison or anything like that.
See, it's good.
Can we search under the bed and under the bedclothes?
Yeah, sure. Would you roll an investigation check then, Stephen?
Talk amongst yourselves.
I'm wondering if the snow, like, I'll wait till after Stephen though.
That's okay. You can.
Because if it was like melted snow.
Yeah, I've rolled a 16.
16 total. Okay.
Yep.
So you examine the bed. You kind of move things around. Judging by where the wood has broken, you kind of look, and it's looking very fresh. So definitely the bed was broken very recently, like within the last couple of hours. You kind of glance around. At the foot of the bed, there is a small bag with a couple of Lysander's belongings. There's a small notebook. There's a bit of ink and a quill. There's some rations, a couple of candles, things, basic things that someone would use to travel around and keep track of their own stuff. Strangely, you don't see any armor or any weapons around the room at all. It's almost like whatever he had in that line has been taken. Also with a 16, you do find a small glass vial that's empty, but it does have the tiniest little drop of a faintly kind of sickly green liquid. And you also...
Does Sir Nicolas want to drink it?
I'll test it.
Okay, go on and taste it then. Sir Nick.
Do I need to roll
Yeah, roll a perception check, please.
Roll a stupid check.
A stupid check would do just as well.
14.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, look at that.
You take the vial and you look at it. It's quite small. It'd hold only maybe 30 mil. Like it's almost like a shot, basically, that amount of liquid it would hold. You sniff at the bottle. It tastes, and you're so confused. Like, what? How is this possible? And you look at the others. It smells sticky. if that makes sense. Like you never thought a texture could have a scent. You then taste, there's like the tiniest drop. You barely even wet your lips with it, and you instantly just go, oh God, oh, that's really bad. It has the weird mix of lemon juice with curdled milk.
Nice. I'm really glad that you did that. You weirdo. Can I just inspect the body? Just gonna ignore what just happened. Just gonna go and inspect the body.
Before you do that, I'm just gonna say Samuel did find one extra thing. There was one corner of a page of the notebook in his bag at the foot of the bed that has been ripped off, and you do find beside the potion bottle or the glass vial or whatever, there was a crumpled up bit of paper, and when you unravel it, you recognize it has 4 words on it. Kelline, which is Quelline. So Kelline, Carp, Krampus, and Darren. That's all it says. Kelline, Carp, Krampus, Darren. In the meantime, Morgarth, could you roll a d20 and add your investigation because you're inspecting the body?
Oh, yeah. Just 1 second.
Take your time.
Did I have any adverse side effects from the potion, or I'm good?
No, you're good.
Well, I mean, I'm.
Yeah,
you're as good as normal. Did you say investigation or perception?
Investigation.
3.
Oh, he dead.
Okay, good. Confirmed that he's dead. That was.
Good job, Morgan.
Some of the basics you do notice, he is very cold, and again, similar to what Nick Cage felt with the tub of water, colder than he should be. Like, if that makes sense. So it's. I mean, you've come across dead bodies before. You know how cold they feel, but this is different. This is, even with the window open, you know this is chilled.
It feels like every other dead body, but colder. Do you want to lick him? It's okay.
Yeah,
the icicle.
I didn't want to get that weird, but I was going to ask to lick the ice.
Okay.
Sure, it's related.
I'm just to take my notes and just throw them to one side.
And then, could we look out the window too? So while I'm licking the ice, can Samuel look out the window and see if there's anything? I'm wondering if he was like in the snow before, like naked in the snow doing snow angels.
Okay. So Nick Cage, you go over, and I'm still getting used to calling you Nick Cage. Nick Cage, you go over to the body, and the icicle that Lysander's hand is still frozen to, his left hand is grabbing onto. You touch it with the tip of your finger first, and you know when you touch something that's really, really cold, but it's like a dry cold, and the moisture of your fingertips sticks to it, and then you have to like you can pull it off. You can tell your tongue will definitely get stuck if you lick the icicle.
Do it anyway.
I do it anyway. I owe Morgarth a lot of money. What he says goes.
Okay, you just shrug and you stick your tongue out and get stuck to the icicle. And you're stuck there. And while you're stuck there, Sildar, who is standing in the doorway watching you do all this, just says, can he like sense things through his mouth, or what's going on?
No, he can't.
Right.
And I didn't even mean to lick ice today.
You literally can't talk now. Your tongue is stuck to the ice.
Okay, can I melt the ice?
Sure, but while you're doing that, it'll take a second. Samuel, you're going. Were you going to look over at the window or the bathtub, or?
Yeah, I look out the window.
Okay. Roll a perception check, please.
Okay. D20.
So D20 and add your perception score. So the difference between perception and investigation is perception is just a general scan. You're generally looking and seeing what you notice, whereas investigation is you're looking at a particular thing and looking for something wrong with it.
Right, I rolled an 11.
11, okay. So when you get over, the one thing you notice is the closer to the tub, you're walking across the room, the tub is splashed out all over the floor and it's half empty. And you notice the water closest to Lysander is frozen solid, just a little bit. And the further away you get from Lysander, the more warm the water is, to the point that then the water on the floor around the tub and the tub itself isn't ice. You also notice then when you go to the window that the window's latch is broken, almost like somebody kicked it in from the outside.
Can I open the window and look outside?
It's currently wide open anyway,
right,
so
okay.
You stick your head out the window and you look around. So you guys were walking to this town in the last hour, and you know that it hasn't been snowing. Like, even though the whole town is covered in ice and snow, it hasn't been snowing for the last hour. And when you look down on the ground, there's no tracks anywhere around the ground. The snow is perfectly untouched on this entire wall, on this entire side of the tavern that you're in.
Now, I may be the stupidest paladin in known to mankind, but I wonder, my companions, if that owl had anything to do with it, and I suspect there may be sorcery afoot.
I'm going to agree with you. I'd be very surprised if he managed to make icicles and stab himself. So, is there anything above you? Can you see out the window and look upwards and see if there's anything to see?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay, so Samuel goes from looking down to looking up. Roll another perception check there, Stephen. And Nick Cage, your tongue would have warmed up and you'd just about be free by now.
Just about.
Just about. I'll let you.
Rolled an 8.
Oh. Plus perception?
Yeah, 8.
Oh, that's 8 total. Oh, I thought you said you rolled an 8. That was okay.
No.
Oh dear. So you look up, and I mean, it's a nice night. The sky's clear. You do notice there's a bit of, like, along the edge of the roof, because you're in the top story of the building. Along the edge of the roof, you know the snow that's like just at the edge, about to fall off. There's some snow missing directly above the window.
Ooh.
And then you look down again, and there's no extra snow on the ground under the window.
So it's been used, or it's gone on whatever was there before.
Am I acrobatic enough to climb on the roof and see if there's anything on top of it?
You can definitely try, just to make it more obvious. So the window, let's say the window's in the wall here, like this, and it opens into the room. So this is the room. So when you poke your head out the window, the roof hangs out like maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet out. So it will be a jump and try to grab onto the roof. But because you're jumping out, you're going to have to grab onto it like you're doing a pull-up. So it will be difficult, but it's possible, but it's difficult.
Can I try just make a fool of myself?
Certainly. So roll an acrobatics check.
So it's D20, right?
D20. Always a D20 unless I say otherwise.
10.
A 10.
What, did you add your skill to that?
Yes.
Oh dear.
Side.
So Nick Cage kind of clears a path from the bed to the window. He pushes the tub over a little bit, pushes the windows out all the way, pulls the windows in all the way, make sure they're wide open, and kind of gets okay. Watch me go. and just breaks into a sprint, and just where the ice was starting to form beside Lysander, you slip on that, and you just you kind of lose your momentum, but you've committed, and you keep going, and he just jumps out the window, and Halo, you take
Oh God.
8 points of damage when you fall onto your back on the ground below.
That's got a height.
Oh God, this doesn't bode well. You're like...
Oh, dear.
I say nothing to see here.
Nothing around you.
Like here, my tongue's sore. Oh God, so now I'm down to about 13 hit points. Okay.
Can I close the windows? And just and
Morgarth
have a
closes the windows.
look at the notebook.
Yeah, sure. So as you kind of walk across, as you close the windows, Sildar, who's still standing there, watching all of this with the facial expression that you interpret as him thinking, why did I ask these people to help? So Sildar just goes, is he all right? Or should I go out and check on him? Or
He'll be back in a minute. That's normal. He's an idiot.
Oh, right. So Samuel and Morgarth, the two of you, kind of open up the notebook and start flicking through it. It's a diary of Lysander's. It's not a personal diary. It's not like his thoughts and innermost secrets and feelings or anything, but it's more like a kind of a record of what he has been doing and all that. And you read the last couple of entries, and he speaks about the cult that he dispatched from the town. And they were a cult known as the Cult of Katara, Katara. And they are a cult that worships a snow demon known as the Krampus. He had trouble dispatching them. There was the leader of the cult in particular was an excellent alchemist. He was excellent at making potions and things like that. And Lysander, by working with Darren, somebody who lives in the town, figured out who the leader of the cult was and banished them from the town.
Okay, sorry, those games. Is Sir Nicolas back with us yet?
You're just finishing up reading those passages when Nicolas Cage walks in and goes,
well, Katara, Krampus, Darn, they're three of the words that were on that torn bit of paper, as was the final word was the name of the halfling.
Kelline.
So which would, I think, even to my dim-witted mind, would suggest we go and speak to her now.
But Darren is also in the town, so we need to see him as well.
Yes. But she's in the building, isn't she, innkeeper?
No, she's gone home now. But she was the last person to. She was the last person to see Lysander alive, as well as myself.
How old
I think we need to speak to her and Darren then.
Yeah, I'm sure.
How old was her son? Was he involved in that?
So the whole town's a bit caught up about that, if I'm honest. Carp is 8. He's been missing for 2 days now. Now, there's some people think that the cult of Katara came back and maybe took Carp with them, but I don't know. It's just a very strange situation, and we're all very concerned. There was 2 search parties sent out, and both of them were led by Lysander. They checked out the forest down to the southwest, and then they checked out the old mines that's over to the east. And I believe they were going to go check out the hills to the north tomorrow morning, but with Lysander gone now, I don't know.
So they won't go without Lysander?
I'm sure they will, but I just think that people are more scared now more than anything. I mean, Lysander was the man who was leading the charge against finding Carp. So now the issue is who killed Lysander and why, and is it something to do with the wee boy? Anyway, I know you were talking about looking for Darren or looking for Caroline. I can bring you to both their houses if you need to.
So, do you want to go to Caroline first, guys?
Yep. Seeing as she was one of the last people to see my dear friend alive.
Sir Nicolas Cage is still embarrassed and will do whatever you want.
just before we go, you will be paying us for our time.
Oh, you mean me? Oh, I mean, I can give you a free bed and board for as long as you need.
Oh, okay, for eternity. Good, great. Okay, let's go and see Caroline.
Didn't say turn. Right. Oh. Fine. And as he leads the three of you out of the tavern and down the stairs, you can hear him muttering to himself, going, "Did I say eternity? Did I say that? You wouldn't say eternity." So he brings you out into the cold, and again, when you leave the room, the blast of cold air hits you, and it's just kind of it just gets into your bones, and somehow the wind does that thing it always does, where it finds the little gaps between your clothes that protects you, and just gets in there and chills you to the bone. As you walk down the streets of the very small town, I mean, it's tiny. There couldn't be more than 50 buildings here altogether. And you're walking through, you notice a lot of the doors are closed, a lot of the curtains are drawn. You can see the telltale glimpses of smoke coming out of the chimneys, and you can see candles flickering in the small gaps between curtains. But the whole town seems to be just shut down and hunkered down, trying as if almost to hide from something it's scared of. Eventually you get to the far corner of the town, where there's a small little cottage. And by small little cottage, I mean height-wise, because they're halflings, family that live here. Sildar brings you over to the door and thump, 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 knocks on it. Caroline, are you home? And you all wait for a moment, and then the small little wooden door opens. You see before you a wise-looking halfling woman. She looks to be around 45, 50 years old. Her dirty kind of blonde, starting to go grey hair is tied up in a rough ponytail with a bit of black ribbon. She's wearing kind of rough clothes, but warm looking at the same time. And you do get the smell of kind of a vegetable store almost, you know, with all sorts of things being stored in the heat of her house. She opens the door, she goes, "Yeah?" And Sildar says, "These are Morgarth, Samuel and Nick, and they're all here trying to figure out what happened to Lysander, and they were wondering if they could speak with you." Yeah, come in. And she steps aside and opens the door further. Sildar walks in, and the three of you follow. The second you walk in the door, you realize why the cottage is so small, and you all kind of have to stand a little bit like this, as it's built for Caroline and her people's stature. She leads you over to a small circular table that has a couple of stools around it, offers you all a seat. And once you're all seated, she starts putting a kettle over the fireplace. And Sildar nods and says, "I'm going to go back to the tavern, but if you need anything else, Caroline can tell you where to go." And he just walks out.
Okay. So, Caroline.
Yeah.
When you last saw the landless lord, what did you talk about?
Well, Lysander was a good man. He was very kind. He got rid of those rotten Katara ones, and he my little lad Carp, he really idolized him. He always looked up to him, and during the summer there a couple of months ago, he was teaching Carp how to horseback ride, which was very entertaining for most of us, because to see a young halfling on a horse really was highly entertaining. The size difference was something else. Carp has been missing for 2 days, and I know my boy's alive. He has to be. A mother knows these things. And you watch as she like roughly, almost aggressively rubs a tear out of the corner of her eye and just shakes her hand. As she's speaking, she brings the boiling kettle over to you and pours a hot cup of tea in front of you all, and then pours one for herself. Lysander and me were leading the search parties to find Cart. We were discussing the plans for tomorrow's trip into the hills in the north. He believed that maybe the cult were gonna had a part in it in some way. I hope not, because the demon they worship, it's just something that I don't really believe in anymore. I mean, my grandmother used to tell us stories of it sneaking in here on the Yuletide fest and stealing children away so it can live for another year. And I mean, I don't believe it. Nothing like that ever happened. But these Katara ones, they praised it like it was a real thing.
Can we hear some of the myths? Some more of the myths?
I mean, yeah. She gets up and she hobbles over to a small little shelf that's above a bed, and you notice that the bed it's small. I mean, it's a halfling size bed, but it's not suitable for her, and you surmise that this is probably her son's bed. And she kind of looks along the books and then pulls one book out. It's a thin enough one. It's a blue cloth bound cover, hardback, so the expensive editions. It has a strange figure, a silhouette of a large hulking black figure with two long horns, a long tongue snaking out of its mouth, and cloven feet but clawed hands, a bipedal creature. She flicks through it and she explains, well, this is the story of the Krampus. And she tells you the story of a demon who was once an angel that was jealous of the demon's abilities to improve their power by attacking and sacrificing innocents. The angel fell, and on the Yuletide festival, it was excommunicated from its heavenly home. And then it was found by a child, and the child, unfortunately, was very sick. And the angel took the child's life and then found that its own life force was empowered. And then when you get to the back of the book, there's a small little poem. And Caroline points it out and goes, that's how I know this story. My granny used to sing it to me every Yuletide. I mean, when we had the Yuletide festival, everything was very fun, and we had songs and games, and we made presents for each other and all that. But this song, Granny used to sing it to us every night before we went to sleep, the night of the Yuletide, telling us to be careful. And she reads it out to you. When you sleep, he comes to see the truth and the lies you've told. And if he can, he'll take you to his cold and sweetly home. Be good, be just, or soon you'll see a place not for the bold. For once you're there, escape you'll not, forever on your own.
Is there a place that the myth aligns, like an actual physical location that they think might be the Krampus's lair in the myth?
No. Are you asking Caroline, or are you asking me as the dungeon master?
Caroline, sorry.
Okay. Not really. I mean, like the story always said that Krampus was always there in his cold and sweetly home, and the cold and sweetly home could move from one place to another. So it was never very obvious where he was from. He seemed to move with the winter, if that makes sense.
When Cart disappeared, when was the last time he was seen?
Here, and she points to the bed. He was taken in the middle of the night from his bed. I was in the other room. She points to the only door in this small little warm cottage. And it's definitely warm in temperature, but the atmosphere of it is growing colder and more lonely as you stay here. I was asleep. I woke up, he was gone.
Did you notice anything else?
Not really. The only thing is I know is I did see that day in the town somebody that was wearing a long dark blue cloak. They seemed to move far into the north, but I didn't really care. I ran out the front door when I realized Carp was gone, and I looked around, and she points kind of at the back of the house, and she goes, I mean, I went around to the orchard there, and I could see somebody moving away in the distance, but it was a very tall figure. It wasn't somebody that it wasn't Carp. I knew that much. So then I just figured that he was out playing. So I started wandering around. I started going through the town. I went into the houses of the children that he normally plays with, and none of them saw him.
The direction that the robed figure went in, does that lead anywhere?
To the hills to the north.
To the hills in the north, yeah. I mean,
I'm still knocked out.
Can you tell us something about Darren?
Oh, Darren Ethermath. Yeah, of course. He's the local potion master. I mean, he's a very wise man. He would have once upon a time, he would have been an adventurer himself. He would have traveled the world and fought monsters and demons, but in his old age, his power has waned.
Okay.
And does he live near you?
I can bring you to see him if you'd like.
Should we go see Darren?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there anything Sir Nicolas wants to lick before we leave?
No.
I was going to say let's charge into the hills to the north, but I don't think that's a good idea. Can we take the book with us because it's valuable? I mean, because we need it.
Yes.
For reference.
For reference material. I mean, if you feel that it'll help find Carp and
definitely,
bring justice to Lysander's death, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I'll hold on to it too.
Oh, thank you. All right, well, finish up your tea and we'll go. And you finish up your tea. It's a warm, like, not just temperature, like it has a bit of a spice, a bit of a kick to it. And Sir Cage, you regain 5 hit points.
Oh, yay.
From the lovely hearty tea.
You can jump out of another window for no reason.
Yeah.
Getting ready.
I really didn't expect anybody to lose hit points in the investigation part of the story, so I had to be nice and give you some back.
Oh, I live just to
Okay.
Before we go, do you have any whiskey?
I think I do. Hang on. And she looks around and she roots through. Well, there was a little press in the corner. For anyone not Irish, press is where we keep our stuff. A cupboard. She roots through a press.
Carlane, just leave the whiskey alone. Nicolas Cage, stop it.
Oh, okay.
There'll be whiskey at the next space. Stop stealing off the little halfling woman who's lost her child. Okay.
I would say they're
misplaced. It's fine.
I will pray for you and your son as a man of God.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very good of you.
I will sacrifice a goat. Okay, let's go. Come on, take us to Darren.
You're a motley crew, aren't you? Yeah, right, come on. And she goes and she kind of hushes you out the door and then pulls it closed and locks it and leads the way. You go through the town once more, and now you notice some of the curtains twitch a little bit, like as if someone is moving them, watching you. And once you see them, they kind of hide behind the curtains again. You pass the tavern, and Sildar is standing in the doorway. He goes, "All right, you are right. How is?" And he's just kind of waves. And Caroline, we're gonna leave at first light in the morning, and we're gonna leave from here. Is that all right? She goes, "Yeah, that's fine, thanks." And carries on. You get to the far side of the town, not more than a 15-minute walk, and you're outside another cottage, but this one's now full-sized or human-sized, I should say. And she knocks on the door harshly. He goes, "Darren, there's some folks here I need to see, and they need to talk about Lysander and Carp. Are you awake? Darren? Darren?" Ah! And she just opens the door. And as she's opening the door, you see a wizened old man, long white beard that is braided, and it starts as like 10 or 12 braids, but then the braids pair up and braid into singular ones, and then by the end it's one thick braid at the bottom. So it starts as many and kind of works its way down to one.
Dungeon Master has definitely got a beard fetish. Carry on.
This is actually going tomorrow as we record this, so I'll explain what happens later. And the he rises up and goes, right. Caroline, who do you have here? This is Morgarth and Nicolas Cage and Samuel. And look, I don't want to be away from the house too long, so they wanted to talk to you about Lysander and Carp and the Krampus myth and all that. So I'm going to go and see you. And she just leaves. You can tell she's eager not to be away from the house too long in case Carp returns. Darren welcomes you and goes, right, how can I help you?
Well, can you tell us what you know about this, the disappearance of Carp and the murder of my friend?
You knew Lysander?
Yes, I used to travel with him, and we went on a series of adventures. We were very good friends.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. I didn't realize that you knew him. And yeah, he was a very good man. He was well loved, well liked, and adored by some of the people in the town. The whole town is devastated when we heard about his loss. Anyway, so he recounts a lot of the stuff you've heard already from the others of how Carp vanished from his bed in the middle of the night, how the Lysander had gotten rid of the cult of Katara. He does mention that the cult of Katara would often wear dark brown or dark blue robes.
Can I scan his accommodations?
Yeah, sure. So that'd be a perception check. Are you looking for something in particular, or are you just glancing around?
I'm just looking around. I'm suspicious of him. 14.
14. So looking around, I mean, it's a one-room cottage. There's a bed in the far corner, a lot of books, a lot of scrolls. There's a cauldron in the far left corner of the room. It's not a huge, massive one you'd see like at Halloween, but it's a small enough one that's bubbling over a small little flame. There's a fireplace. There's a cupboard as well, and a wardrobe. And it's a simple enough dwelling space, but all around the cauldron are a huge amount of glass bottles with all different sizes and shapes, different amounts of colors of liquid in them. Yeah.
Can I try?
Sir Nicolas Cage, did you keep the little vial that you tasted?
Yes.
That's convenient.
I've been hoarding everything.
Can we ask him what he makes of the vial? What he thinks it is?
Yeah, sure. Let me see. And he puts out his hand. I'm assuming you give it to him.
I'm sorry.
So you hand over the vial, and he just. Was there anything left in this when you found it?
Yeah, it was sticky and lemony, I think, and smelled sticky.
Smelled sticky.
I've been licking ice. I'm sorry.
It was green.
Yes, it was green.
Hang on, and he moves over to his little cauldron section, and he starts rooting through all the bottles and taking them down. No. And he finds a little bottle that it has the same amount of liquid that the vial you found has, but it's a completely different shape bottle. So like, whereas the one you found was kind of short and squat and kind of a bit wide, the one he has is more like a test tube with a stopper at the top. He brings it over. Was it this color?
You'll have to taste it to be sure.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you a potion. Just was it this color?
Yes.
Okay. Thunk. Smell. It smells the same as the potion you smelled earlier.
So what's that potion, Darren?
We've lost Morgarth and Nicolas Cage, Stephen.
You made fun of my victory, Mia. Carry on without us.
If you're ready, if you're okay.
It was Connor's look of, it smells the same. Moving on.
I never thought I'd have to explain what a potion smells like in this. I mean, I have a lot of sheets here with a lot of information on them. Smell of potion is not one of them. Anyway, so you tell Darren that it smells the same, and he kind of, his eyes light up a bit and goes, and where did you find this bottle? Where did you find
his body?
Right. Was there any marks on the ceiling in the room?
I was too busy jumping out a window.
We didn't notice if there were.
It was
when I looked outside the window that opened into the room. When I looked up onto the roof, there was a section of, was it snow missing or?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think you've solved the mystery of how Lysander was killed. This potion, and he hands it to Nicolas Cage. Don't drink it now. Drink it when you need it. But this potion is a potion of spider climb. If you drink it for an hour, you're able to walk up walls or roofs or across ceilings, the same as you'll walk on the ground. There was the little drop. Was there a drop left or not? Or
yeah, because I think I did, right?
Yeah, there was.
Okay.
Well, you tasted that less than an hour ago. Go walk up the wall.
No, it wouldn't work because he would need to drink the whole bottle to feel the full effects.
So you're just weirdly sticky now.
Apparently not.
Okay.
Did it smell lemony at all?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it was definitely a potion of spider climb. Now, one thing that does give me good hope is that I know who made it. There's only one local potion master around here that would use lemongrass to make spider climb, and that would be that dastardly leader of the clan of Katara.
Do you have a name?
Yeah, it's I've lost my ability to make up names on the spot. Yoth. His name was Yoth Miral.
And where can we find him?
Well, the last he was spotted somewhere in the north of the town. Lysander and a couple of other local guards and stuff went north looking for him, but they never found his lair.
That explains how somebody got into the room, but Lysander was killed by ice. Can you give us any idea how that was done?
Have any of you ever heard of the tale of the Krampus?
Yes, strangely, we have a very rare first edition book about the Krampus.
Valuable book.
Yeah.
Well, we believe that the clan of Katara, that the cult of Katara, that they praise the Krampus demon, angel, creature, whatever you want to call it. And we believe that, from my research and everything, that the more strongly you praise and worship the Krampus, and the more you do what it wants, the more powers it gives you. The Krampus is an evil creature that has ice powers, that has climbing power, all sorts of things. And if Yoth Miral was the one that if Yoff Mirrell was the one that killed Lysander, he probably used those icicle powers that the Krampus would have bestowed upon him if he did something that the Krampus really liked, if that makes sense.
So if, say, Yoff Mirrell delivered a child to the Krampus, he'd be gifted with powers like that.
Definitely. Wait, and you see the penny drop with Darren as well. Wait, do you think the carp was given to the Krampus and that's how he got those powers and that's how he killed Lysander?
Looks that way. We have one place that we haven't really looked at, which is the orchard, where the person in the blue cloak walked away towards the north. So then it hasn't snowed. There might be some tracks, but that was a couple of days ago.
It was snowing yesterday.
Oh, okay. So if we just wander north to the hills, then we haven't really got a track to follow or anything like that, but we know that they're probably in that direction.
What time is it now?
Well, the one thing... Say that again, Stephen?
What time is it now?
Time, it's close to 11 o'clock at night.
Right. So should we go now or wait till morning?
Well, we have somebody who can throw little glowing orbs into the sky, but they don't last that long. So maybe wait till morning. We do have free board and lodgings for eternity at the inn. So,
and Sir Nicolas Cage might need to recover some more of his hit points from that nasty fall with a good night's sleep.
That's a good point. Should we go to the
inn? He could be concussed.
Probably.
Permanently.
Some of his decisions are...
Yeah. All of them. All of the decisions.
Just before we leave Darren, how many people were in the cult before they were pushed out of the village by Lysander?
Sorry, could you say that again, Ross? My internet was a bit dodgy there.
That's okay. How many people were in the cult?
There would have been, I mean, if you don't count Yoff, because he would have been the leader, there would have been 5 of them altogether. So 5 cultists plus Yoff. Now, in the investigation and in Lysander cult from our fair town, 3 of them did perish, and one of them was taken away and brought to Neverwinter, the city far to the north of Scribestown here, to be tried. So the only one that's left standing in this area was Yoff himself.
Okay, that's interesting. And they were definitely the only people involved. There's never been any talk of a conspiracy in the village.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. Do you have any cool potions we can have?
Roll a persuasion check. See how good you can convince this man to give you one of his
9.
He looks at you and goes, no.
Well, thank you very much for your time then, Darren. I think I'm going to go have a drink.
Right. Do you know your way to the tavern? To the inn?
We do.
Grant, off you go. So I'm going to do my own thing here. Thank you for helping our town. And as you leave, he closes the door, and you hear a distinct clunk of the door being locked. So you make your way through the village once more, back to the center, back to Sildar's inn. You walk in. Do you want to go straight to bed, or do you want to talk to Sildar at all? Up to you.
Well, it's probably got nothing to do with the story, but as a paladin knight and good friend of Lysander, I probably shouldn't leave him pinned to the wall with 3 icicles. So I'm going to go off and deal with his burial and say some prayers.
Okay.
Sleep in the main room and start snoring.
I'm just going to see the innkeeper quickly, because I want to know if Lysander kept his money somewhere.
Well, he definitely did keep some of his. To be honest, he wasn't really one that kept a lot of coin on him. He was a very charitable man, and he would have given a lot of people any money that he came across or earned. He would have given to any of the poorer people in the town. To be honest with you.
Oh, that's delightful. And does he live here most of the time?
Yeah, this was his. That room has been his for months now.
Months. Okay, interesting. And he pays you, presumably.
At first he did, but then after a while, because of how much he was helping the town, mostly because of how much of a friend he became, I gave him the room in exchange for kind of helping out when he needed him to.
Yeah, so he owes you debts as well. Fine, okay. I'll have a drink and then I'm going to bed.
Okay, cool. He kind of glares at you a little bit when you claim Lysander was in your debt, if that makes sense. He's kind of a bit put off by your money-driven mindset, and he just doesn't ask you what you want, and he just kind of glares at you as he fills a tankard and then just dunk on the table in front of you. That'd be 5 silver.
Yeah, no, it won't, because you promised me free board and lodgings for eternity. Thank you very much.
And as you walk away, he tries to explain that no, but board means food. Oh, fine. And he gives up. Stephen, do you want to do a perception check to find a good place to bury Lysander?
Yep. Another 8.
18, did you say?
No, 8.
Oh. I just heard 8 and the internet cut a bit, and I was like, oh, 18, let's go. Oh, 8, all right.
No, I'm being honest. 8.
That's fair. That's fair. You walk out and start. So first you go up to the room. Could you do a strength check to pull the icicles out of the body?
Seven. Teen?
Teen this time or not?
No, 7. 7.
No, 7. Okay. Yeah, it takes you a while. It takes you around an hour to get all of them fully out, because you realize that they are deeply embedded in the wall. Like at first it looked like they just went through his body and then stuck into the wall a little bit, but now when you finally get the first one free and Lysander's body just slumps a little bit to the side, you see that they actually almost pierced through the entire wall of the tavern, which is quite an impressive feat of strength. You then work on the other 2. It takes you around an hour to get all 3 out. Eventually, it takes a lot of pulling and shoving. You have to tear a bit of the bed sheets up to kind of get a handle on it so your hand doesn't freeze. Eventually, then you get his body down. You take a blanket from the bed and cover him up to give him a little bit of dignity. And then Sildar comes up to the room and says, what are you doing?
I'm giving my friend and colleague a good burial in respect of my faith. I think it's the least we can do for him.
That's fair. We were going to do that in the morning, but that's fine. Here. And he comes into the room and he helps you. So he leaves the room when he sees you covering up Lysander and gets some rope, comes up and ties ties the cloth around Lysander to kind of give him a kind of a shroud, a makeshift shroud. The two of you then leave and start walking around the town looking for somewhere to bury him. And Sildar has an idea. He goes, I know what we can do. And he brings you down to Kelline's house. And he, you knock on the door, and Kelline seems to have been half asleep. And the two of you explain what you're doing. She says, I mean, we could always bury him in the orchard. He did love this place. Speaking of her own orchard at the back of the house. Would that be all right with you, Samuel?
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay. I'll get a shovel and I'll start clearing some of the snow, and you two go get the body. And so she heads out the back, and the two of you start walking back to the tavern. And around 40 seconds after she turns around to the back of the house, you hear her scream the most blood-curdling, fearful shout you've ever heard.
Well, as a virtuous knight, I'm obviously going to run to her aid.
Okay, so you sprint over to her aid, and when you get around the back of the cottage, you kind of search for a minute, and you find her kneeling down on one edge of the orchard, just looking into the distance towards the north. And when you get there, you look, and she's still screaming, and she points up at the tallest mountain on the horizon, and she's just screaming. And when you look up at the mountain, you see the most beautiful sight you've ever seen, but it's strange because it's the Northern Lights. They are floating and twisting through the air, but they're all spiraling, and they're funneling down into the peak of the mountain. Did you look at the book?
I obviously was looking over Sir Nicolas Cage's shoulder when he was scanning through it.
Okay, so you recognize... Sorry.
No, go on.
Okay, you do recognize this image. There was one picture in the book that showed what happens when the Krampus begins his feasting of the life force of a child. And it's the exact image you see before you. When the Krampus begins its ritual to take the life force of a child that it has kidnapped, the Northern Lights come down and spiral around the pair of them. And you now know the Krampus is at the top of that mountain.
I think that might be a hint that we move on. People. A subtle hint.
I'm having a drink and Nicolas Cage is asleep.
I'm snoring.
You better come and wake us up.
I'm glad he didn't get that bottle of whiskey. Well, given that startling turn of events, I'm going to run back to the inn, use my considerable strength to drag Morgarth away from the bar, and arouse Sir Nicolas from his slumber.
Very good. Okay, Morgarth and Nick, you two of you are woken and brought outside. And when you get to a certain angle in the town away from the tavern, you are pointed out and you can see the Northern Lights swirling around the peak of this mountain and funneling down and becoming a jet stream of pure multicolored light and hitting the peak of the highest mountain.
Okay, should we go to the mountain? Seems logical.
How far away is it?
It is, and I actually do have this. It's 25 miles away.
They've got horses. They've definitely got horses because their halfling boy was learning to ride, wasn't he? Okay,
yeah,
so we should have certainly Lysander's horse at the very least.
You do notice there is a stable at the back of the tavern. Nick, you would have seen that when you moved around, when you fell out the window.
Oh, there's a stable at the back of the tavern.
It's a good job you jumped out of that window.
Good thing I
I'm
did
so
that.
glad he came with us.
Can we? Is there anyone we can talk to about getting them, or do we have to steal the horses?
Your choice. You can run into the tavern and find Sildar, who probably would be asleep at this. Oh no, Sildar was with you, Stephen. Sildar is back with Kelline at the farm trying to console her, while Samuel came to get you two.
Well,
I vote we
has
just take the
Sildar
horses.
seen the lights too?
Sildar saw the lights as well, and when you ran off, he stuck with Kelline to mind her and console her.
Okay, I'm just taking the horse.
Me too.
Okay. All right, so you have one horse between the three of you.
There's only one horse in the stable.
Yeah, just like Sanders.
Okay. We'll ride that. I will ride that horse to where the rest of the people are and say, "Hey, have you got any more horses?"
So you ride the horse across the town with Samuel and Nick kind of sprinting along to keep up with the horse's jog, and they say, Kelline sees what's happening. She goes, I have two that I use for ploughing. Hang on. And she points at a small shed at the end of the orchard, and Samuel and Nick, you run down to it and open it up, and there is two horses standing inside.
I say we take him and
Let's
go
go.
as fast as we can.
Okay. You start galloping to the north. Now, this is going to be fun. So now we're going into a different style of play now. So what you need somebody to be the point man, to kind of keep an eye on the horizon, keep an eye on the Northern Lights, but also to watch the path and to figure out what is the quickest way to go. Because I mean, you could just go straight, but there might be a better way around. So someone needs to make a survival check. Then
can we check with each other who would be the best person to do that?
You can do in character. The way you do that is you'd say, right, who's good at tracking, who knows how to get from point A to point, like, so yeah, you can ask who has the best survival.
I don't, and I jumped out a window, so I wouldn't be a good point person.
What's important there? Is perception important there? Is
survival?
Just survival, right?
Just
okay. So I'm meh in survival.
-1.
Wow, you suck. You should be dead.
I should be.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Oh, all right. Okay, I'm +2. I'll go and do the survival roll.
Hey, you're level 3. +2 is quite good. Okay. So you're going to do the survival rolls.
Okay, good.
We'll also need one person to do an animal handling check for the group to kind of keep the horses tame and to keep the horses moving.
I can speak to animals, can't I?
Yeah. Do you have a spell for that?
Well, I've got awakened mind, apparently.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so you can speak to animals. Yeah.
Yeah. So can I just say, listen up, animals, you little bitches. If you don't run as fast as you can and do everything we say, I'm going to kill you.
The second you say that, the 3 horses just stand to attention, and one of them even lowers its head and paws at the ground as if bowing to you.
Okay, awesome. My intimidation is pretty good.
Okay, so you don't need to worry with the animal handling check. Now, the next thing is you're sprinting out of the town, but what you don't realize is the closer you get to the Krampus, the colder it's going to get. So, could you roll the first survival check, please, Morgarth, to see your first couple of miles?
15.
15. Okay. That's pretty good. You do manage to kind of gallop through the fields. There is a stream, and you kind of figure, well, hang on, the stream comes from mountains, so you follow it up river, if that makes sense, and eventually you kind of, there is a path alongside the river, so you do get on a good bit. It's noticeably cold. I mean, as you're galloping, small flakes of snow begin to fall, and the wind picks up sometimes and it bites at you. Anyone whose hands aren't covered by either gloves or armor, your hands are going numb already from the speed of galloping and also from the cold air around you. Morgarth, could you make another survival check?
15.
15. Once more, when you get to the point where the stream has become a small trickle in the mountain, you have to find another path to take. You glance around, you are starting to get further uphill, and you do notice there's a kind of a pass between two kind of shards of rock, just wide enough for the horses to get through. You also then look to the left, and there's a longer, wider pass, but there's something that your gut tells you that's the way to go. So you take the pass through the narrow bits of rock, and you do actually manage to get further along than you already would have. The snow is picking up considerably, and it's very thick on the ground, and the wind is getting more steady. It's not just gusts now, it's a constant blowing, and it seems to be blowing from the peak of the mountain. Do you want to keep climbing on, guys?
We've got to keep going because it's happening now.
Okay.
Sorry, what were you saying, Sir Nicolas?
Oh, I was going to say, can I do some kind of fire spell to warm us all up? I don't know if anything's that contained, though.
Well, what spells do you have?
Not if you do it, is it?
Not if I do. That's not, I have Firebolt, Mage Hand, Message, Infestation. Ooh, that's probably not what we want.
Definitely need a cream for that one.
I mean, maybe it'd warm us.
I mean, you could use Firebolt, maybe, but it's like lighting a match. It's like a fire. It might melt a bit of ice in front of you along the way. You could do that.
Sure, yeah, to make it seem like I'm doing something.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so that will make the number Ross has to roll lower to keep you going on the path. Ross, do you want to roll again?
Yeah. I didn't need such a high one. 22.
22, lovely.
Yeah.
You do manage the path you chose does seem to be a lot easier. You're galloping along. There's one bit of the river, of a different river now. It's a lot wider, and actually it's frozen over on the top. You take a sec, you look at it, and you just you hop off the horse, grab a rock, and throw it to test the ice, and the ice seems thick enough. You decide to chance it and step on it, and then the horse steps on it, and it's strong enough, and you gallop across the icy river and get even closer. The problem now is none of you decided to get any extra layers of clothing to protect in Arctic temperatures. So now you all need to roll what's called a Constitution saving throw. So you know your list of skills, guys? Above that, we have the 6, like strength, all them. So look for Constitution saving throw and roll it. And tell me what you got.
So that's plus like whatever we have in Constitution. And
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
13.
Okay. Morgarth?
15.
15. And Samuel?
13.
13. Okay. You do manage to dodge the ill effects of the cold. There's just something about you're invigorated and what's the word? Inspired to save this young boy called Carp. So you gallop onwards. You're not too badly affected by the cold for now. It is bitingly cold though. We're getting into minus 19 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in silly American numbers, but I'm sure it cold is all I can tell you. You're now also getting... Go on, Ross.
Can we light torches? They might help us a little bit.
Yeah, sure. If you have them, you can.
It says I have them. I didn't write this. You did. Do I have torches?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If I wrote it there, you do.
Okay. We have torches. Let's just light the torches and see if they actually make a difference at all. At the very least, we hopefully won't die. It should be pitch black now, shouldn't it? So
It's very dark. Do you all light a torch, guys?
I only have candles. Oh wait, I have a hooded lantern. That might help.
That would help with sight. It wouldn't help with heat.
But you can have a torch. Here you go. There's a torch.
Thank you, Morgarth.
Yes, Stephen.
I have divine sense and divine sight. Would either of those assist?
Yeah, divine sense would definitely help. That sees. What does that see? It sees celestials, fiends, and undead. I think does it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. That's exactly what it does.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and check it out. So you activate.
I've rolled a 1.
No, you don't have to roll for divine sense. It just happens. Can you just tell me if you look at the rules, does it have a number for the distance?
I'll have a look.
Okay, you take a look at that, and while the rest of you gallop on. Ross, we're now getting to it. Go on, Nick.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I have dark vision. Would that help?
You both
have that.
The two of you have it. The human doesn't have it, so he's going to be depending on you two. However, it is a bright, clear enough night, so like you can see. It's not pitch black because it's full moon, so you don't need it desperately, but it does help you see a little bit better. And while Stephen is looking up the distance of divine sense, you guys, could you both roll a Constitution saving throw? Another one for the next leg of travel.
12. Oh no! What have you done? 8.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna die before we get there.
So, guys, the cold is starting to get to you, and you both suffer 1 level of exhaustion. So, if you could just write down exhaustion and just put 1 mark underneath it. Basically, what this means is that from now on, anytime you roll a d20, you roll it twice and you use the lower number. So anytime you look for a better path, anytime you attack something, anytime you do any kind of skill, you will roll a disadvantage because you're so cold it's starting to affect your mental facilities.
I didn't need the cold to do that.
Yeah, I was going to say. So, Stephen, what distance does divine sense apply to?
60 feet.
60 feet.
60
Okay, so
feet.
Okay. There's nothing nearby in this immediate area. I mean, 60 feet is quite a low radar, we'd say, but it's good to keep it up. I mean, I think you can keep using it continuously anyway. So you guys gallop on in the cold. You're now at a point where you're climbing up a mountain. You've been going up this whole time. You're now climbing up a mountain, and you won't be able to keep the horses. The horses got you there a lot faster. It would have taken you a couple of hours. It's now only taking you 2. I'm sorry, that's a very Irish thing. Couple doesn't mean 2 in Ireland. It means a lot. It's very strange. So yes, you managed to get to the peak of the mountain, but you have to abandon your horses. You've made it to the top. And you can see that the lights above you are taking up almost the entire skyline. There's this massive swirling storm of the Aurora Borealis spiraling down and then becoming this one thick jet of multicolored light shining down onto the peak, which is only maybe another 50 meters above you. You keep climbing up, and eventually you make it to the top. And this is what you see. I get to use the battle cam now, guys. I'm very excited. So,
wow.
Just to give us a bit of a tour, this is Morgarth. This is our brave paladin, Samuel. and this is Nick Cage. Floating cape out behind him. So this kind of squiggly black line going along here, that is the edge of the peak of the mountain. And what you see before you is this strange brown kind of building. It you can barely see in front of you until you get up to here. It's a strange house of soft brown looking walls, white paint and colored decorations all around it. And there is, I just realized it's facing the wrong way, and there is a doorway.
I probably charged right in.
Cage, go and taste that house.
I would love to. Thanks for making me feel part of the group. Can I?
Absolutely, yeah. You can charge straight in if you wish. So you just walk right up and into the house.
Wait, no.
I want to lick it first.
Just gotta lick it first.
You're gonna lick it first. Okay. When you lick the wall, you're licking the wall, the door, the window. What are you licking?
Like the door frame, I think would be the best.
The door frame.
Delicious.
When you lick the door frame, it tastes of like peppermint.
I lick it again.
It now tastes of vanilla.
I lick it a third time, then I go inside.
Chocolate this time. This is cool.
It's a door. It should definitely have tasted of jam.
I will leave. I am quitting being a GM forever. Thank you and good night. Or is it a new high, Stephen?
No, definitely no.
I turn to our righteous paladin and say, "Are you really going to leave Cage to do that on his own?"
Well, am I still using my divine smite? Can I sense anything?
Your divine sense, you can't sense anything, but you do get a really strong sense of magic emanating from this building.
Okay, well, I'm going to draw my weapon and cautiously advance towards the door.
Okay. Right up towards the door.
Encouraging Morgarth at the same time to accompany me.
Do you follow?
I'm going to follow, but then I'm going to turn around to the side of the house and peek my head in through the window.
Okay. The ground on the far side of the house, I'm just going to solo that again so you can see it. The ground on the side of the house, there's very little space. So you can go around. Do you want to go around to the left where there's more space or to the right where there's very little?
To the left where there's more space.
Okay. So you kind of wander around and you look in the window. Roll a perception check, please. Halo, we'll get to what you see inside in a minute.
6.
6. You look in. The windows are unfortunately made out of they're made out of like thick colored glass, and it's more for letting light in, but not letting a view come in. If that makes sense. So you
can't smash the window.
Slash the window.
Smash. It doesn't matter. Break the window.
Yeah, make a strength check.
14.
You take out you've a saber, don't you? A sword.
I have a magical sword.
That's right. So you just your magical sword appears in your hand, and you just smash and swing towards the window. And when you swing, the sword just bounces straight off it, and nothing. A scratch, not a chip, nothing.
Okay, that was embarrassing. Luckily, no one else was there. I walk around to the front of the house and say the windows are strong, which is very good.
Halo. When you entered the gingerbread house,
I charged in stupidly.
When you charged in after pausing to lick the door frame 3 times, you burst through the door, and you're in
like a maniac.
You're in a long, narrow corridor.
I'm gonna just keep running because I committed to this.
That's fine. That's fair. You run down the corridor, and it ends in a 90-degree turn to the left. And when you turn around the corner, it's a dead end.
I say, come on, guys, let's break this wall.
Okay, but you're inside, so you say this to nobody. You turn around. When you turn around to look at the door and to look at the others coming through, the door is gone. There's just another dead end.
So I'm trapped. Can I cast like a thunder wave?
Sure, if you want to.
to try to
you do
blow
have
up the house.
You do have a spell that you mentioned earlier called Message.
Oh yeah, what's message?
It's a
does that mean to talk?
Message. it's a massage misspelt, and when you cast it, magical hands come to rub your shoulders.
Getting kinky. Yeah, I send a message saying I need help.
Who do you send it to? To Samuel or to Morgarth?
I send it to Samuel because Morgarth and I, we have bad history.
You'd have reached a engaged tone if you tried to send me the message.
Yeah, he blocked me.
You have So what do you say to him? Specifically?
To Sir Samuel, I say, I'm stuck. Come save me.
Okay, so Samuel, as you're standing outside looking at the door, you suddenly hear Nick Cage's voice in your head saying, I'm stuck, come save me. You can respond.
The whore.
I'm on my way, Sir Nicholas. You idiot.
Okay, do you go into the house?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So you barge in through the door, and it closes behind you. Morgarth, you're the last one. Do you follow them in?
I'm going to have to follow them in, aren't I? Really?
Yes.
But before I do, no, you dare. Before I do, I take out the rope that I have.
Okay.
And I find something to tie it on, so that I can hold the door open behind me.
Okay, could you roll a perception check to find that something to tie it to?
22.
Wow, nice. Okay, you do glance around, and there is, and look, this is why I love having this special battle map. There is a small little outcropping of a rock just a few feet away from the door. It's around it's 15, 20 feet away from the door. A little rock outcropping there.
Okay, cool. So I tie my rope to that, which is 50 feet long, and then I tie it around my waist as I walk through the door.
And around your waist, and in the door you go. Okay. So now you're all inside the house. And this is where things are going to get even more manic and fun. So once you go into the house, you see Nick Cage just in front of you, standing at the two of you see this. So there's a long, narrow corridor, brown walls, red and white tiled floors, and there is just a turn to the left, exactly where Nick Cage is standing.
Two people right there. The dead end in front
as they walk in, just hang on a second, sorry. As they walk in, it looks like they just Sorry, my dog's barking. It looks like they just walk through the wall as if the door isn't there.
Hi. It's us. Why didn't you message me? That was rude.
Because you blocked me in hell.
Okay, that's reasonable. That's fair enough. Why
we
didn't you
blow
just
it
come back out the door?
Because I was stuck. Wait, so sorry. In front of me, there's a dead end, and then behind me, there's a door, and that closed for me, so I can't. Did I push against it to see if it was solid, or I just stupidly?
No. So what happened was when you came in the door, you went down the corridor and looked to the left, and there was a dead end. And then when you turned around to look back to where the door was, the door had vanished and it had been replaced by another dead end. Now, when these two walked in, it looks like they just walked through a wall, that there was no door there to begin with.
Oh, okay. So can I test if the wall in front of me is actually solid, or if I can go through it and just keep charging on?
You can. You walk over and you start touching the wall, and the wall is perfectly solid. Morgarth, once you walk through the door, you kind of pull the rope up behind you just to keep it from tripping on it, and it has been cut.
Oh, that was a waste of time, and that was my good rope. Brilliant.
So you now have 40 feet of rope instead of 50.
I roll up the rope and put it back where I took it from in my magical pack.
Okay.
Morgarth, I'm Morgarth. Sir Cage, can you taste the wall in front of you, please?
I would love to. Can I taste the wall in front of me?
I never thought I'd have to think about the different tastes and flavors of a made-up word. Like, I've been playing this game for years, and no one's ever said, "Can I taste the door and can I taste the wall?" So well done, Halo. All the senses. Yeah, you put your hands on the wall, and just before you lick it, you notice tiny, tiny little writing etched into the gingerbread wall.
See,
and
it's good.
It says, keep your eyes on me.
So I keep on staring at the words while I lick the wall.
Okay, you keep your eyes on the words and you lick the wall, and it's the nicest gingerbread taste you've ever experienced. It is perfectly this mix of spicy and sweet, and is that a bit of black pepper in it? I mean, this is amazing.
I say, come on, guys, you have to taste the wall. Can I blow up the wall? Can I try to blow up the wall?
With what?
With a thunder wave?
Sure.
Oh, no.
The last time it worked so well. I say stand back, I got this.
Just doesn't your thunder wave hurt everyone?
I think if you're close, but I think you're standing at a distance, kind of giving me side eye, right?
Are there any other markings on the wall, or
just throwing now, Sir Cage?
I love how Stephen is desperately trying to play the game the way it's intended. And he's like, "Is there any other markings on the wall?" And everyone else is like, "Can I blow up the wall?" Stephen, while they're debating whether or not to use a spell that would deafen them all, why don't you roll a perception check?
Yep, sure.
Am I still staring at the wall like this?
Sure.
Yeah, because you're keeping your eyes on the thing, aren't you?
I am. I'm good.
I've got a 15.
15, yeah. So you kind of start looking at all the other walls, and you notice there's a load of arrows pointing. So, like, if the I need to draw this. Sorry, because I'm bad at explaining architecture. Okay, so there is a load of arrows pointing at the section of the wall directly opposite. So if this is the corridor, right? This was, sorry, I'll move it this way. This is where the door was down here.
Yeah.
And this no, I keep, sorry, things flip, so I keep pointing the wrong direction. This is where it says keep your eyes on me, but there's tiny little arrows in the tiles of the floor, in the walls, in the ceiling, and they're all pointing to this part of the wall. So here it says keep your eyes on me, but all arrows are pointing to here.
Do I walk backward and see if...
You do not move. That's a good idea. Are you keeping your eyes on the thing? On your keep your eyes on me thing?
I'm still licking it.
I'm pretty sure okay, stop licking it, but keep your eyes on it and then just walk backwards.
Yeah, that's see if I go through the other wall.
Okay, so you start walking backwards, keeping your eyes on the far wall, and you pass through into another room. You pass through the wall. It turned out that section of the wall, it has an illusionary spell on it.
I say, come on, guys.
Yeah, so I'll follow.
Okay, do you walk backwards or do you walk forwards?
Backwards.
Okay, yeah, you pass through the wall, no problem. Morgarth?
I also walk backwards because it seems to be the way we do things now. I actually do the moonwalk through the wall.
Lovely. Roll a performance check to see how good of a moonwalker you are.
Okay. Wow, I'm really good at it. What do I add to it? Performance.
Yeah.
23.
23. You are the inspiration behind the creation of the moonwalk. You actually created the moonwalk. You're that good at it. Michael Jackson copied you. Yeah.
I can believe it. It's that good.
So you reverse into another room, and in this room, a candle lights itself just the second you walk in. It's a very sparse room with very little things of interest. It's just a dark room, one lit candle, and a small table. There is a painting of a man bowing to a woman on the wall. The title of the painting says, "Manners maketh the man." They can just about be read, but only if you go right up and take a look at it, which you do. The door you came in is still there, as well as another door directly opposite it, on the opposite side of the room. Hanging beside the door is a steel gauntlet with tiny little spikes on the back of its hand and on its knuckles.
I see we take the candle and the gauntlet and charge on, but I got stuck in a gingerbread house.
Can I put the gauntlet on?
You reach for the gauntlet, and as you do, the gauntlet just floats up in the air for a second in front of you, and then just backslaps you across the face, and then down and starts hanging by the wall again.
Can I rub my face, and then can I reach out my hand as if I'm shaking it? So like that.
You reach out your hand to shake the gauntlet, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do that. You wait for a second, and the gauntlet just, and then turns, and floats towards you, and grasps your hand and shakes your hand as well.
Awesome. Okay. Oh, it's creepy. It's got a limp handshake. You know, nobody likes that. Yeah, it's doing that little thing where it puts its finger and it tickles the palm. Gross. Really gross. Somewhat. Okay, I let go of the gauntlet.
Okay. You let go of the gauntlet, and what else do you want to do?
Knock on the door.
Okay, you knock on the door. No answer on the other side. There's a handle there, and it's just a normal door.
Okay, I'm just going to open the door. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's open the door.
Okay, you open the door, and you walk through to the next room.
That was a bit anticlimactic. What just happened?
I'm not sure is Morgarth saying that to himself or is Ross saying that to me.
Morgarth saying it to himself.
Either way, I feel very attacked.
No, that was. Why did the hand shook my? Okay, come on, guys. We're walking through this door. I'm not really sure what just happened, but I think the manners thing was important.
Yeah, there's got to be something to that.
Can I?
Can I
kneel?
try kneeling in front of the portrait?
Sure. Yeah, you kneel in like a kind of prayer
Knightly
stance,
manner,
or
and
knightly
a sort of
manner.
knightly manner.
So you kneel as if kneeling in front of a grand lord or lady or princess or something, and just staring up at the painting for a moment, and the gauntlet just through the room and taps you on the shoulder, and then just and then floats back to the door.
Okay.
Come with me. I think the gauntlet's being the guard to the door, but if you're nice to it, polite to it, then it'll let you through.
Well, then I will follow Morgarth into the next room.
Okay, so you make an effort to open the door, and you walk through, total no issues whatsoever.
Sir Cage, can you test my theory by doing something rude to the gauntlet and then seeing if it lets you through the door?
Yeah,
Lick the gauntlet.
I flip off the gauntlet and then I lick it.
The second you flip off the gauntlet just speeds through the room, grabs you around the finger, and just twists it, dislocates your finger, and then just goes back and hangs by the door again.
Ouch. Nasty.
Do I need to take some hit points?
No, not for a dislocated finger.
Can I kneel to the gauntlet instead of the picture?
Yeah, and when you kneel to the gauntlet just floats in front of your face for a second, and just does this like, then gives you a thumb up, and then floats back to the door.
Should we all kneel in the doorway, or is that too?
The other two have gone through the door. It's just you.
Oh, sorry. I'll say sorry. I'm coming.
Try and keep up, Sir Nicolas.
Wait, can I bring the candle with? Or is there light in the next room? I mean, we have.
I'm about to read it.
That's a good idea.
When you get through to the next room, there are 4 stone pillars, all of which are 6 feet high and 4 foot in diameter. So they're quite thick, sturdy pillars. All the pillars have a different rune carved into the bottom of them. There is a door on the opposite side. This door matches the front door. It looks like it's the inside of the front door that you came in originally.
Can I try lighting one of the runes on fire with the candle?
The stone pillars.
in the runes.
The runes are carved into the pillar, like RUNE. So they're carved in like to different marks.
But there's no like magic dust that will. Never mind.
I mean, you can go over with a lit candle and hold it up to the stone and just see what happens.
Good. Does anyone recognize the runes?
Yeah. What do they say? Can we read them?
Okay. So, do any of you speak Dwarven?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So the first one, it just looks like it looks like if any of you have ever been in a mine, you know the truss, the thing that holds the roof up, the kind of wooden beam. It kind of looks like that, but it splits at the top. So it's like a straight bar up that then splits at the top, and it seems to be holding up something. You look at the second one. Do any of you speak Elvish?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so Nicolas Cage, I'm calling you that. You recognize this rune. It's called Miril. Sorry, it's not called Miril. It's called Monif. It's the elven rune that stands for grace and for beauty. It looks like a willowy fountain with 2 rounded arches of water.
Hey guys, I know this one.
Is that helpful? You going to tell us something about it?
Does it have any like meaning besides I don't know, like for a spell or?
No, it's kind of used a lot to represent beauty and grace and poise, and it's usually refers to beauty and poise in a dancerly way, if that makes sense, as opposed to like the beauty of a mountain or the beauty of nature. It's more beauty in the human and elvish form.
Can I dance in front of it?
Yeah, stand in front of it and do the moonwalk or something else.
Can I? Yeah, I want to pirouette in front of it and see if
Okay.
anything.
You do, and the rune glows very slightly for a moment and then fades again.
Okay, dance more.
Yeah, can I dance more?
Sure. Roll a performance check.
And I have to do 2 still because I have the exhaustion, right?
Yeah, so you have to roll twice and use the lower number. Well remembered.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is gonna be bad. 11.
So you I mean, you're moving. Would one call it dancing? Maybe. Would a dancer call it dancing? Probably not. So you're moving, and as you do, the rune doesn't glow any stronger than it did before. But yeah, that's all. Do you want to look at the other two?
Yeah, let's distract from.
Okay. The third one, do any of you speak Draconic?
No.
Where do you know what you speak?
In languages, so in the bottom left corner of the first character sheet, it says proficient languages and others proficiency.
Yeah. Okay. No.
Oh, okay. You don't know this one. It looks quite angular and sharp. The best thing I could say is it looks like a crescent moon. And then the fourth one, I'm pretty sure you all know this one. Do you all speak common, which is the language that you're all conversing to each other in. And it's the first letter. This rune is the first letter of the common alphabet. It represents beginnings and journeys. And it looks like a road leading into a distance. So it starts wide at the bottom and then kind of leads out into the distance and meets then on the horizon line.
Wait a minute.
No, go ahead.
So the dwarven one is a mine truss, like that.
Yeah.
And the letter A, like that. Are the others two M and Crescent Moon? It's fucking YMCA.
Maybe.
I hate you, Dungeon Master. Do we have to dance the YMCA?
So as you're kind of wandering out of the room, you do notice there is on the top of each pillar carved footprints, as if someone's supposed to stand on them.
There's only 3 of us, though.
I'll stand on them.
Which one do you stand on?
I will stand on the Y and go like this on the dwarven one.
And as soon as that happens, the rune lights up bright.
Come on, you two. I'm not doing it on my own.
I'll do the M.
All right, hello, but you actually have to do it. There we go. All right, Stephen, are you going to do the C?
Oh, well, C.
I know the mirrored thing is really confusing. And then there you go. There's the A. So yes, YMCA. Well done. As soon as one of you gets on top of the pillar for the A and does the motion, the fourth rune lights up, and you hear a clunk of a lock being opened on the far door.
Let's go.
That's very clever. Well done. That's very clever. I also hate you for it. Okay. Through the door.
Okay, you all charge through the door. When you burst through it, it's bizarre. You are back at the front of the house, but things are different. the storm isn't as strong. The northern lights are swirling and actually hitting the ground, whereas before they were stopping just above the house. Now they're hitting the ground, and hunched over at the base of the light where it hits the ground, you see this huge, hulking, massive creature that has a big dark blue cloak over it. It's making strange sounds. It's kind of snarling and growling and huffing.
Can I cast Armor of Agathis?
Yeah.
I think I can only cast it on myself unless I can cast it on everyone.
No, you can only cast it on yourself.
And then can I sneak up on this thing to get a closer look?
Sure. Roll a stealth check. What are the other two doing while Ross is rolling?
What's the wild magic surge do? Oh, Tide of Chaos.
So Halo, every time you cast a spell that's a level 1 or more, I roll a d20, and if you get a 1, a random magical effect happens that could be good or bad.
Okay, awesome. I am. Ooh, what's this? Can I do? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the careful spell and the empowered spell.
Mm-hmm.
Can I choose? Can I do that so Morgarth can succeed? If I can choose a
No, so what it is if you're casting, like for example, your Thunderwave spell, if you're casting it and it might hurt your friends, you can use the careful spell so that it won't hurt your friends.
Oh, so I should have done that last.
Yeah, when we did the rehearsal, you should have used that. Samuel, are you doing anything in the meantime?
Can I shout Krampus to see what sort of reaction I get?
Don't do that. I'm trying to sneak up on it.
Distract.
But it's what I do.
Ross, what was your stealth check for what it's worth?
14.
14. Okay, guys, I'm going to open up the battle cam. Let me just click solo so you can see better.
Just cut to the chase.
Cut to the chase. All right, so Nick Cage is standing at the door. Samuel is standing a bit to this side when he shouted out for the creature's name. And Morgarth, you were sneaking around this way, and you got to maybe around here by the time the creature's name is called. The creature, by the way, looks like this.
Ooh,
that's great.
That's awesome.
This is a paper mini I got from the Printable Heroes website, which I highly recommend if anyone's into Dungeons and Dragons to use it.
Can I step out of character for a second?
You can, of course.
We actually watched the movie Krampus last night.
Oh, there you go. I just knew what was happening, Stephen.
Exactly, and it's just as you describe him.
There you go. Morgarth, you are getting around a little bit away. You're kind of, I know it's small, but you're kind of a bit behind the creature. And you do notice just hunched over and curled up in a whimpering kind of crying form, the little tiny form of a small boy at his feet. And when Samuel calls out, Krampus, the beast does lift its head, glaring at you. And guys, we're going to have a battle. So could I ask you all to roll initiative? So roll your d20 and add initiative, which is at the very top of the middle column.
Do we still have to do 2?
You two do, yes, because you are suffering from exhaustion. Do 2 and use the lower number.
11.
I'm sorry, what did we add to?
Initiative. It's beside your armor class at the top of the middle column.
Oh, God. 12.
11.
Okay. 12 for Nick Cage. Morgarth and Samuel, you got the same. So you can choose each round who goes first, basically. Morgarth, Samuel, and I should maybe roll for the monster. No. Oh, wow. You guys are lucky. All right. So Nicolas Cage, you're up first.
Aren't you guys lucky?
You're going to do your stupid wave, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I want to do the thunder wave, but can I also do the careful spell?
Okay.
And save Samuel and Morgarth?
I will say that you do know that the thunder wave only hits. So I don't know how clearly you guys can see the individual squares, but if you're in here, it only hits every square that's touching it around it because it's only a 15-foot cube.
Oh yes. Let me.
So you'll have to get closer to the beast to hit the beast.
How far am I away from?
You're 15 feet away.
Oh, 50 feet. Can I do a witch bolt?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, is that you have to roll to attack, I think?
I think so. Yes, maybe. It's spell level 1.
Okay.
Here, let me see. Okay.11.
11. Okay.
I don't add anything to that, right? That's just.
No, you add your spell attack, which is at the top of your magic page.
Oh. I'm so sorry. Okay. So 16. 16.
16 total. 16 is the exact number you need to roll to hit him.
Yes.
However, I also need you, Nick Cage. Could you roll a d20 again? And if you get a 1, be ready for a random magical effect.
10.
Okay, you're in the clear. So you reach into the small pouch of little magical items that you have to help you cast spells, and you pull out the burned, charred twig of a tree that had been struck by lightning you came across. You mutter an arcane word and thrust the twig in the air towards the beast, and this bolt of lightning arcs through the air from you directly to the Krampus. Because you roll your damage now.
Sorry, that's D12. No, that's
I should say it with the spell. D12. D12 sounds right.
Sorry, one sec. Let me open up another tab.
Okay.
And then do I do that with that 2 as well and take the higher one, I'm guessing? or is that just 1?
No, that's only when you're doing something. So for your damage, you just roll your D12 and whatever you get, you get.
5.
A 5. Excellent stuff. Okay, so you watch as when the lightning bolt strikes the creature, just as it's turning to look towards you, it screams in agony and just and turns and looks towards you. And that's your turn. You still have movement if you want to move from where you are.
Yeah, I'll go closer. Why not?
Oh, okay.
Why?
We'll put you there.
Would you do that?
I want to see it. Doesn't Morgarth have horns too?
Yeah. But only little
Is
ones like
Morgarth related to the Krampus? Sorry, I ran him aside.
No.
Morgarth would be as related. Morgarth would be as related to the Krampus as we are related to chimps. So kind of, but not really.
I'm not sure if he's calling me the chimp or the Krampus the chimp.
You're more an orangutan.
Oh, ook to you. Do you want to go first? It's our choice.
Yeah, I suppose it would be in Samuel's nature. Can I throw one of my javelins at Krampus? Hello?
Yes, you can. He's disappeared. He's left his battle cam on.
Dungeon Master. Let's just agree we've killed him.
He's still connected on his battle cam. Yeah, that was it. We won, guys. Yes. It turned out the quickest way to win.
Disconnect your DM.
You missed it, Connor. It was amazing.
Oh, no, well done, guys. Yay. Oh, that was the most stressful 4 seconds of my life. I also was going through my head, was like, oh no, did the recording save? And it's still there. Is everything gone? Anyway, sorry. Yes. So who's going first, Morgarth or Stephen or Sam? No, I should Sam.
Samulus, can I fire one of my javelins at him?
You can, of course, roll your d20 and add your attack bonus.
All right.
This is where the uber complicated rules come really to play.
Right, I've rolled a 7.
7 total. So you pull out one of your javelins from the container at your back, and you take aim and fling it, and it goes soaring through the air and arcs straight over the beast and vanishes over the side of the mountain.
Oh well, over to you, Morgarth.
You have any movement, Samuel? If you want, you can move closer or further away, or you can stay put.
Can I move closer then, drawing my sword?
Yeah, you can, of course. Yeah, so you will bring you around to maybe this side here. There you go. Okay, Morgarth, it's your turn.
Can I cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter?
You can certainly try. So what I want you to do is on the top of your magic sheet, it should say something like your spell save DC.
Yeah.
Could you tell me what that is? And then look at the spell and tell me, is it wisdom? Like what type of saving throw is the spell?
Okay, it's a +5, my spell saving DC.
No, the other number should be like 13 or something.
Oh, 13. My spell attack bonus, you mean?
Yeah, so the spell attack bonus is when you're casting the spell, but spell save is what I need. So
my spell save is +5.
Oh, okay. Well, I rolled a 1, so no matter what it is, that's a fail. That's a big fail. Okay, could you tell the joke?
Oh, great. I didn't realize I had to do that. My wife says I've got to stop acting like a flamingo. I had to put my foot down.
Oh, God.
Terrible.
Wow. Wow, that's bad.
I wasn't expecting to have to say a joke.
Oh, man. Anyway, so unfortunately, the Krampus does find that funny. As the Krampus' initial reaction is to go, oh God, and roll its eyes, the spell takes effect and addles its brain, and it starts howling with incontrollable laughter and actually falls over flat onto its side. I'm going to turn that so you can see him fall over. And he falls over onto his side, howling with laughter, finding this hilarious. And there's the poor little boy. So you're now surrounding him, and he's rolling around on the ground with laughter. Well done, guys. Well done. Okay, it's his turn next. So you can't do anything except roll around on the ground laughing. So thanks for that, Ross. However, he is gonna. What's your? Did you find your spell save? So you know the box that says the +5.
Yeah.
What's the one immediately to the right of that?
13. That's my spell attack.
13. Okay, so that's what I have to beat. Oh, unfortunately, the Krampus has rolled an 18. So he falls down laughing, but he spent his entire turn getting back up. So he kind of uses half his movement and gets up and just looks directly towards you and growls at you.
Just a joke.
He's also going to... Yeah, he's going to attempt to hide amongst the falling snowflakes, which is something he can do as the Krampus. But he fails. He only rolls a 2 on his hiding. Okay, next up, back to you, Sir Nicolas Cage.
Am I close enough? Sorry, I look like I'm, like 10, 15 feet away?
You're 15 feet away.
Oh, I'm 15 feet away. Sorry, let me check my spells. So I can't do my Thunder Wave yet.
No, you could move. If you move 10 feet closer, you could.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. And then I'll do my Thunder Wave, and I'll also, though, save the little boy, Morgarth, and Sir Samuel with the Careful spell.
Okay. What's your spell save DC? So on the top right corner of your magic page. What is
13.
13 as well. Okay, let's see. So I'll roll for the boy first. Oh no, you're using careful spell, so that's fine. Okay, so I'll roll for the Krampus. And it's not looking like it's gonna hurt him that bad. Is it, what type of save is it? Is it a Constitution save? Does it say? In the details of the spell itself.
Yes. Each creature in a 15-foot cube must make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, so I've done that, and he rolled an 11, but his Constitution is +4, so he actually gets a 15. So he only takes half damage, and he doesn't get knocked away from you. But still, half damage is better than no damage. So the damage, I think, for Thunderwave is 3d8. Is that right?
It says 2d8, and it's pushed.
2d. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's succeeded, so he doesn't get pushed away. So roll your 2d8 and tell us what have that, and that's what damage he takes.
2d8. So 4 is half.
4 total.
4 total. Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, that's fine. So you cast Thunderwave, and this big of energy blasts out from you and deafens the little boy a little bit, but he doesn't get hurt. And the Krampus just kind of turns and looks at you. Also, Halo, roll your d20 again to see, do you get a wild magic effect?
Nope. 4.
No. Okay, so you're in the 4. Oof, close though. You also still have your witch bolt. This bolt of lightning is still arcing over and back between you and it. So you can roll a d12 to hurt him again.
Yeah, let's do that because the thunder wave was very, very limp.
Go.
4.
4. Oh wow. Okay.
I know. Okay. All that licking.
Okay. Okay. Morgarth or Samuel, it's your turns.
Samuel, do you want to go first?
If I'm close enough, can I attack with my sword?
You can move close up. You can go to there, and then you will be.
Yeah.
Okay, so swipe with your sword.
I've rolled a 3.
Oh man, Stephen, you're having fun. You run up, and as you run, you kind of draw your sword in this big epic kind of run and draw, and you swing down. And as you swing down, the monster reaches its hand out and just grabs the sword, and you try to yank it through to cut his arm, and nothing happens, and he just pushes you back a little bit.
Fair enough.
We're doing great, guys.
Yeah, go team. Okay, it's the Krampus's turn now.
What?
Did Morgarth go?
Oh no, it's Morgarth. Morgarth, sorry. I wrote Morgarth first, that's why. Morgarth, off you go.
I'm going to shatter, which is a spell.
Okay.
So you need my spell attack bonus again?
Spell save, yeah. Spell save DC. 13 again, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Can you see this? But I don't know if I'm getting confused or not. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
So
see the top.
Oh yeah, there's a mistake there. Sorry, yeah.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I thought I was getting it wrong. That's okay.
No, that's me. I got it wrong.
Okay, so 13 plus a d20. Right?
No, it's just I roll the d20 and see if I beat 13 or not.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll. Oh wow, I got a 1. So it doesn't matter what type of number it is. That's a fail. Yeah. What does shatter do?
Okay, so it is a sudden, loud, ringing noise, painfully intense, that erupts from a point of my choice within range. The range is 60 feet, so I'll put it right to as close as I can to Krampus, but on the other side of everybody else.
Okay, so you can even put it above, or you can put it over here.
Oh, above him. That would be brilliant. I assume he's very tall.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and he takes 3d8. Wait, this might not make sense. 3d8 thunder damage on a failed save. So is that right?
Yeah, so 3d8, and then on a failed save, it's half that. But he failed. Sorry, failed save is that's the total, and if he succeeded, it would have been half that. So roll 3d8 and tell us how much damage you do.
18.
18. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this shattering noise just across the whole area, and the Krampus just screams and falls to his knees, grabbing its head and just roaring in agony. Okay. Next up is the Krampus. He finally gets to move. Speaking of moves, you can stay where you are, Morgarth, or you can move forward or back or whatever.
I'm going to take a couple. Oh, I can't take many steps back. I'm right on the edge.
Yeah,
I'm
right
going to
on the
move.
edge.
I'm going to move around towards where the boy is.
Okay, so you move around to here.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. The Krampus now is going to. Yeah, he's going to reach into the bag that is kind of tied to his back and take out a lump of coal. And he's going to throw it directly at, let's see, he's going to throw it at Morgarth, because Morgarth is the one that's, no, he's going to throw it at Nicolas Cage, because Nicolas Cage is the one that's like electrocuting him constantly. Halo, what is your armor class? It's beside your initiative, so at the top of the middle column. What is it, sorry?
I would say 12.
12. Oh, yeah, no, he does hit you. So you're going to get hit with a flaming lump of coal. Just kind of fitting somehow. And, oh, God, you take 13 points of damage.
I'm at 5.
Oh, wow. Okay, as you do that as well, Halo, could you roll a Constitution saving throw to see can you keep concentrating on the spell, the Witch Bolt spell?
So that's
D20 plus Constitution. And you have to beat 13 because that's how much damage you took.
Seven.
7. No. So unfortunately, as the lump of coal whacks you in the stomach, and burns a little bit as well, you kind of keel over and the spell just disappears. You no longer have the witch bolt up. The Krampus is then going to turn to you, Samuel. You with the big sword who he grabbed, and he's going to take out. Actually, he's just going to headbutt you with his massive horns and try to gore you onto his horns. And what's your armor class, Stephen?
16.
Oh, he got 19 to hit you. Ooh. So he manages to hit you, and actually this is a stronger spell than I thought. It's oh wow, but it's okay. He rolled a 1 on the first roll and a 7 on the next. So that's 8 and 11, 12 points of damage.
Okay.
Okay, so he reaches down, bashes you with his horns, and one of them jabs through your armor and stabs a little part way into your abdomen. He's then going to vanish and turn invisible. And next up is Nicolas Cage.
Can I do a firebolt?
A firebolt?
Or do I not know where he is?
He's invisible, but you can still see his footprints in the snow. It just means that it's gonna be harder to hit him. That's all.
Oh, okay. So I still know like where.
You have a rough idea, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do. Actually, what's infestation?
It should say it in your spells. I actually don't know the spell that well. I think it's like a horde of like flies and fleas and bugs and stuff.
Let's stick with the firebolt.
Okay, good choice because he's weak to fire. You cast the spell, and can you roll a d20 to see if you hit? But roll twice and use the lower number. Oh man,
Oh,
no.
oh, sorry. Plus the spell attack bonus, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so yeah, 13.
13. No, it's not. It's not strong enough. I'm afraid. You fire the spell through the air. However, it just soars just right above his head, and the monster ducks. And in a panic, he loses his invisibility, so you can see him once more. And he had actually moved to the edge and was closer to Morgarth. Okay, so next up, Nicolas Cage, do you want to stay there or do you want to move?
Yeah, I'll stay there because I have like no no hit points left.
Okay, perfect. Morgarth or Samuel, who wants to go first this time?
I'll attack again with my sword.
Say that again.
Can I attack again with my sword? Hello?
Yeah, I can. I'm still here, but my internet's not great today. Sorry, guys. Just who's going to go first, Stephen or Ross? Just give me a thumbs up. Whoever's going to go first. Stephen is fantastic. Stephen, if you're are you attacking with your sword?
Yeah.
Okay, so roll your d20. He's visible again, so you'll run over and swing your d20. Swing your sword and roll that.
A 5.
Oh man!
2, 7.
I don't know what's
7.
gonna. 7. Oh, plus 7, but it's still that's still not great. You rush up and swing your sword, and when you do, the creature does take a step back, but his foot is now on the edge of the mountain.
Oh. Over to you, Morgarth.
Do you want to do any more movement, Stephen? Do you want to?
I'll keep moving towards him. Move towards him.
Move towards him. Cool. Okay. There we go. You're a lot closer to him now. He's right on the edge of the mountain. Next is you, Morgarth. Have I gone again?
No. I'd gone. I'd muted myself.
Okay. That's all right.
So it's okay. We've only been doing Zooms and Skypes for 12 months now, and I still can't do it right. So yeah, Eldritch Blast. Can you hear me now?
Roll a d20 then.
Okay. Do I add anything to it?
Yeah, you add your spell attack, the +5.
Oh, okay. 13.
13 is just about good enough to hit him. Yeah, roll your damage then.
Oh, sorry.
What did you get there, Russ?
Nothing yet. Just give me 1 second. Sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. Don't worry.
I wonder,
2.
Huh?
2.
2.
2.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 2 is better than 1, and 1 is better than nothing. Okay. So you blast forward, and a sickly pale purple tentacle launches out of your hand and then just slithers through the air and blasts in the Krampus's face.
Great. So you might as well have just tickled him.
Yeah. Okay, next up is the Krampus, I believe. It is going to. Let's do something a bit fun. Let's do something crazy. Yeah. The Krampus is going to reach and grab Samuel. And Samuel, he's going to lift you up and attempt to put you into the sack that you can see, the kind of basket thing on its back there. And tuck you away. So Samuel, would you roll a strength saving throw, please?
D20.
20.
No, 16.
15. Okay.
No, 16.
Let me roll his one. 16. Okay. Either way, you're good. It didn't do too well in his strength saving throw. So he reaches down and he does grab onto you, but you kind of like that moment in Captain America and Thanos, his big massive hand comes down, but you grab his thumb in one hand and hold the rest of his fingers back with your arm, and the two of you are just there, kind of pulling and kind of wrestling against each other as it's trying to pick you up, and he fails in doing that. He's then going to vanish again and go invisible and let go of you. Nicolas Cage, we're back to you.
I'd like to do infestation. That sounds like fun.
You're going. Okay, perfect. You're going to cast infestation. Where? All right. Is that a saving throw or spell attack roll? What does it say?
Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw.
Oh, can I do the careful spell too at the same time, or can I only do that once?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll do that, and I guess I'll save then.
Okay.
I guess.
It's kind of. Oh wow! He rolled a 1. He rolled a measly 1.
Phew.
Okay, so what does infestation do?
You cause a cloud of mites, fleas, and other parasites to appear momentarily on one creature you see within range.
Very good. And what damage does it do, or does it just blind them? Or
1d. Oh, sorry. Or it takes. Sorry. Roll a d4 for direction. The spell's damage increases by 1d6 when you reach 5th level.
Oh yeah, so it's 1d6, but then he's moved in a random direction, isn't that it?
I think so. Yeah. Sorry. It's I can't tell if these are the people near. The target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or it takes 1d6 poison damage. It moves 5 feet in a random direction. If it can.
Okay, perfect. So roll the d6.
1d6.
Yeah, and see how much damage you do.
4. I keep rolling 4. Oh, sorry. It was plus spell attack.
That's good.
11. Oh, sorry, 9.
9. No, 1d6. 4 is what you got.
4, 11, 9.
Oh, I don't get that.
Yeah, that's you add that when you're like throwing a spell through the air and trying to hit. That's what that is.
That's 24.
37.
Oh, well done. Now, Halo, what I'm going to say is he is on the edge of the cliff.
Can I push him off?
So we have to roll for him to move 5 feet in a random direction. So we'll say, I'm just going to zoom in on the battle cam for a sec. So we'll say 1 is this direction, like kind of down the mountain. 2 is closer this way, into the middle of the fray. 3 is closer to the house, but 4 is down off the side of the cliff.
Ooh, yeah.
So off you go and roll the d4 and hope you get a 4.
2.
2. Okay, that's all right.
Every other time I rolled 4.
I can't see your dice. You could have said 4.
4.
He moves closer. Now, Samuel, he's actually moving not on his turn, which means you can do what's called an attack of opportunity. So basically, when he's moving past you, you can do a sneaky quick attack. So if you want to take that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, off you go.
Bear with me.
Roll your d20, add your spell attack bonus. Or not spell attack, sword attack.
9.
9 total?
Yeah.
No, man, you need to get a new d20. I don't know what's going on. Unfortunately, it you do miss. You swing to the sword, and the beast just clatters it to one side.
We're doing great.
Oh man, I'm so sorry, Stephen. This is the pits. The dice are not with you tonight. Okay, it's now Morgarth or Samuel's turn.
Do you want to go again while he's...
Yeah, I'll roll another 9.
No. Roll something higher.
7.
Okay, you swing. You're getting so frustrated that you're now like not even concentrating. You're just like with the sword, and you just go through air. Like the beast doesn't even notice you're attacking it this time, as it struggles with the fleas and mites and wasps surrounding its face. Anything else, Steven? No. Okay, I'm sorry, man. All right, next is you, Morgan.
Am I still attached with my Eldritch Blast, or is that a one-off?
No, that's a one-off. That's like a magical shot, basically.
Okay, can I cast it again or not? Yeah, I
can.
It's a cantrip for me, so I'll cast that again. So my spell attack was 13.
No, that's your spell save. Your spell attack is +5.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. Okay, so you roll a d20, add 5.
8.
Okay, before we go on, I'm just going to check something with you, Stephen. Stephen, what are you adding to your d20 when you attack with your sword?
2.
Okay, you should be adding more. You should be adding your strength and so what's your strength score?
Oh, I thought it was the strength bonus you added.
No, so you add your strength bonus and your proficiency bonus. So your proficiency bonus is +2, and then your strength is a +2 or 3, I think.
+2, so that would be 4. Yeah.
So you should be adding 4.
All right. Okay. I don't think that makes a lot of difference. I'll know next time if there is a next time.
Yeah, next time, and hopefully you'd like just chop its head off then or something. Okay. Next is the creature's turn. He's now getting annoyed. The wasps have kind of vanished, and it's going to let me see. Yeah, he's going to attack. I think he's going to have to attack Morgarth because Morgarth is the one that's hitting him the most. So Morgarth, he's going to then swing his massive horned head down towards you to try and gore you upon his horns. And he rolls a 15.
My armor is 14.
Oh, but you have Armor of Agathis on, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yes, so you do damage to him.
Oh, that's handy. Let me just check.
So what does the spell say in terms of damage?
So I gain 5 temporary hit points for the duration. If the creature hits you with a melee attack while you have these hit points, the creature takes 5 cold damage. But cold is probably not good.
So how many points did you do?
He takes 5.
5. Okay, he takes 5 points. Perfect. So it's 10. Okay. When he swipes down at you, he does hit you. Let's just see what damage he does on that again. I think it's quite a big one. Yeah, it's 2d8 plus 4. So let's see. 4 for 8. 14 points of damage.
No.
Are you still up?
Yeah, I'm still up. I'm not doing very well though. So I lose my temporary hit points first, right?
No one's doing well though, so that's okay. He's also then going to take out his lump of coal and he's going to fling it behind him and go for, because he's kind of here now, and he's going to go for you, Nicolas Cage. So he throws his lump of coal, but rolls a 1, and the coal just over your head and lands in the snow and bursts into flames and turns into ash when it lands. Okay, next up is Sir Nicolas Cage.
I'm going to do Shatter with the careful spell to save people. So I'm
okay. What one are you doing? Sorry, say the spell again.
Shatter.
Shatter. Okay, fantastic. It's a con saving throw. Is it Constitution saving throw?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and your number is 13, and he rolls a 3, so it takes full effect. Off you go. What is the damage?
Oh, sorry. So 3d8. Let me roll that.
3d8. Excellent.
Oh my god. It's only 18.
What?
How many?
18.
18.
Oh wait, no, actually, that's not that.
No, that's still pretty good. He's looking really rough. Like really, he's kind of slashing and snarling at everybody. He's looking really, really weak. You really have him on the ropes, guys. Next up, Morgarth or Samuel?
This is it. This is going to be the one.
You got this, Samuel.
just hit him once.
Yeah.
Come 19 plus 4.
Yes.
Oh, boom.
Samuel.
Oh, finally. And then roll your damage, Stephen.
Which is 3d10 plus 4. So, does that sound about right, Connor?
Say that again.
My hit dice is 3d10 plus 4.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. So if you want to
So
roll
9,
that.
13, 16, 20 in total.
Okay, Stephen, could you use your writerly prowess and tell us in detail how does Samuel deal the killing blow?
Samuel stepped forward. Until now, the gods had been frowned upon him. But with one last mighty blow, he swung down his sword, searing through the neck of Krampus and severing the foul beast's head. As the head lay smouldering on the ground, the stagnant body toppled as if in slow motion backwards over the cliff to its doom at the foot of the jagged rocks. The end. Thank you. Available to buy now on Amazon.
Can I lick the head?
You may have been missing a lot, but I'm happy you got to. You got there in the end. As the Krampus's body tumbles and cascades down the side of the mountain, the three of you turn and look at the very still figure of Carp, Caline's son, lying still in the snow.
Oh, we should help. Sorry, yeah. I was licking the head.
Go and get some of that gingerbread from the house, and we'll see if that helps him. We should probably do something to warm him up. Okay, pick him up. Fine, I will pick him up.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Oh wait, I have candles. Can I light something on fire and build a fire?
I pick him up.
You have your torch, yeah.
Oh yeah, you gave me a torch. We can do that.
I've got the laying of hand spell. It's like a healing spell.
You do, yeah. You can use that.
Can I use that?
That's a better
idea. Yeah, use that. Okay, so you step forward. You can give him 5 points at a time, so you can just give him 5 hit points.
Yeah,
it's
we'll
more
do
than
that.
what he actually has. Okay, so you step forward and use lay on hands. The two of you watch as Samuel steps forward, takes off his gauntlets, exposing his bare hands into the cold, frosty air, rubs them together for a moment, and as he does, they start glowing in this radiant, kind of warm white light. And he puts his hands on the young boy, and when he does, you see a bit of color come back to the halfling boy's cheeks, and he just, what? Where am I? Where's my mom?
Well, you're safe now. We've saved you. And we'll get you home to your bum soon.
Can I just sneak up to him and just go, boo?
Make an intimidation check.
Sir Nicolas, stop licking the child.
With all your strange goings on of trying to scare the child and comfort the child and taste the child, God knows what else you're going to be doing.
Just confuse the child. That's the aim.
Just confuse the child. You distract him enough that he's now more scared of the two of you, and he actually kind of gets up off the ground and hugs into Samuel's arms. The three of you start making the long journey back towards Scribestown, and eventually,
just before we leave, take as much of that gingerbread and other bits and pieces off that house as possible, because there's been no gold at all.
No gold.
And that gingerbread tastes good.
They did taste good. We'll sell it. It's fine. Also the book. It's fine.
Yeah.
So you rob a couple of bits of pieces and food from the gingerbread house.
Rob? We didn't rob. Okay, that's
pillage. You pillaged.
Procured. I prefer that term.
Okay, good. As long as we find a word that Ross is happy with. You've laden your pockets. You've saved the boy. You bring him back home in a couple of hours, and you are praised as the heroes of Scribestown, and your tale goes on for many, many years, and Carp himself grows up to become a writer and writes stories of Sir Nicolas Cage, Morgarth, and Samuel.
I assume we're getting royalties from that, presumably.
Yeah, that's how we get money.
That's how we'll get paid.
Yeah, that's how you get paid. Yeah, Carp's book becomes a bestseller. It's #1 in it looks like it's fiction, but it's not actually. It really happened to me. Charts on Amazon,
and we can sue it for defamation as well. Fantastic.
Of course, yes, loads of income on your way. Guys, that's a wrap on our D&D session. Thank you so much for taking part.
Thank you very much, Connor, for being a dungeon master.
Thank you, Connor.
Thank you for dealing with the licking.
As I said, not something I ever thought I'd have to figure out.
I should be tweeting about this later.
Before we all part ways, of course, everybody check out Ross and Halo and Stephen's books. I've read 2 out of the 3, and I've told by a very reliable source, multiple reliable sources, that Ross's books are both excellent books. We have some great writers in the writing community and on Storyteller, so please check everybody out, follow everybody. I'm Connor, the Geek on Twitter. Ross is Ink Disregarded. Stephen is Stephen RB4. Am I right? And Halo is the best in terms of Twitter handles because she just used her actual name. and the rest of us have something else entirely. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for doing this again. Happy Christmas and have a great new year. Let's get out of 2020. It hasn't been great, but sure. 2021.
Yeah.
Bye. Meow.
Bye.
Meow.